Hello, hello, hello. Part 2 of this craziness. So, I recently found out that there was a place in New Mexico State that there's a place called Zorro Ranch, now called San Rafael LLC in New Mexico. It's Epstein's mansion and it's been in use since 1993. They've even got paperwork on showing paid-off attorney generals, police, and New Mexico State. For more information, look up Slightly High Historian for detailed information on TikTok. She does amazing breakdown on a lot of shows and programs that we should really be listening to. It's not conspiracy. It generally victims of Epstein has said that they have been there. And even there's an article to say that he generally wanted to make super babies there. And it's fucking gross. So look up Zorro Ranch or San Rafael LLC in New Mexico. And you'll see what I mean. So, like I said in my last chat, I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff to catch up on. A lot of horrendous shit's happened. And I just haven't had the time. Because I've got a real life. And so let's put things in here that people might have not heard of, or might have. I don't know. So there was this horrendous person I've looked up on. His name is Jonathan Gowlach, and he's age 34. He was arrested in January the 6th of 2026 at the Delaware County Cemetery, found with a shovel, sack of children remains, and more in his van that was at the cemetery. When police raided his home, they found over 100 human remains, and he was a part of body and bones groups and gloating what he just got since 2020 is the earliest of online evidence that he's been doing it. It's probably been longer. So he's been convicted, and he's been convicted on burglary, not adapted for overnight accommodation, no personal presence, 26 counts of criminal trespass, 26 of criminal trespass, F2 and F3, 26 counts of abuse of a corpse, 100 counts, M2, theft by unlawfully taking, 100 counts, receiving stolen property, 100 counts, intentional desecration of public monument, 26 counts, intentional desecration of object, 26 counts, intentional desecration for historical lots and burial places, 26 counts, criminal mischief, damage property, 26 counts, defiant trespasser, 7 counts. And it's crazy. We're going to listen to a lot of crazy people out there. And this is a white American bloke, born and bred there. So let's get that right, because I'm sick and tired of the agendas of it's a higher percentage of certain types of people. So in the UK, we have a nursery worker, Thomas Waller, convicted of sexually abusing children. There was no protests, no outrage, not a word. His court appearance was 10 minutes from Stanwell Hotel, yet the Protect Our Women and Children Brigade were nowhere to be seen. Almost like it was never about protecting kids at all. He was only found out because one of the children he was meant to be looking after, who was a 3-year-old, told their mum he was doing stuff to them that they didn't like. And yet we've got so many fucking crazy ass protests that is against immigrants, migrants, legal and illegal. This is a white British boy. He is like 20 years old. He was 18 when he did that, and he's now 20 years old. No protest, no nothing. Ridiculous. Abuse isn't always physical. Women can't do anything. You're not even pretty. You can't wear that. Don't be such a woman. You're such a girl. I never wanted a daughter. You need to lose some weight or you'll never find anybody. You're useless. Now, this is quoting from UN Women, where men just always think to be harmed, it has to be physical. Otherwise, people don't believe it. And this is what girls go through all the time with these horrible phrases at them all the time. Abuse isn't always physical, but you get told you can't do anything, you're not pretty, you're fat as fuck, can't wear that, don't be such a girl, don't be such a woman. They didn't want a daughter, they find sons easy. You get boy mums as well, where they're like, oh, I'm so glad I have a boy, not a girl, blah, blah, blah. You're part of the problem. Always constantly get told to lose weight or gain it, and it's still not good enough for people. That's why be your own self and stand up for yourself, because at the end of the day, no one will save you. Why do we always have to pay for ourselves to be safe? I'm not going out of pocket because men don't want to listen and learn, or, as they say, control us. We are who we are. Because men do. Men always go, oh, you're controlling us, but we are who we are. It's another excuse for not being accountable and calling out others, and it's at our expense. Teaching women self-defence is just a plaster, a band-aid. Teaching men not to rape is the cure. Teaching boys not to rape is the cure. We're tired of buying plasters, but it's okay because boys will be boys. He's a nice guy. Tens of thousands of Tigrayan women were raped by Ethiopian soldiers and gangs. A note written in ballpoint pen and wrapped in plastic found inside girls and women in their vaginas, this is, said, "The sons of our group, we are brave." The note reads, "We have committed ourselves to this and we will continue doing it. We will make Dragon women, females infertile." This is after they've raped these women and girls multiple times. They place these things inside of them. The objects revealed by X-ray and surgically extracted by doctors more than 2 years later were forced inside. And this woman, she lay unconscious after being gang raped by 6 soldiers. Over 90% of women and girls have not been given medical help. And this is from EU, and this is from UN Women. And these are from doctors that generally have finally seen these women and girls. And none of these men have had justice. No official authority person has ever had an accountability of what is happening to these women and girls. These men, and unfortunately some boys, are fucking cowards. It's a stupid, pathetic way to treat people in the world. If you want to fuck someone, if I'm ruining someone, to go after the fucking government, go after all the expenses, the monetary things, leave normal people alone. Do not become blind to things that happen around the world just because it doesn't personally affect you. So I think a very good book to read. It's very hard. There's loads of horrendous books, but I think people are still very blind about Epstein's files, emails, videos, photos, everything that's been shown. And for some reason you all blindly see it and then go, just don't say anything. Just don't feel anything for it. It's so fucking weird. But such an upsetting book, but I'm glad she got it out there. We really need to listen and learn from those who tell us their stories. Unfortunately, she won't see justice, and isn't here to see what she started with Andrew's downfall, and hopefully all on that list. It's called Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice, and it is Virginia Roberts that wrote it, and she got it put out after she died. She got her friend to promise her, a publishing friend, to put it out there, because she said, I know something's going to happen to me soon. Because you just have to look at how she weirdly died. Look up how she died. Horrendous. She was abused from day dot all the way up to death, and we just ignore it. Justice for all girls, boys, women and men, alive or dead, who suffered from the hands from all of this list, and everyone who covers this up. Shame on all of you who do not believe survivors. This was from Refuge Charity. 58% of young women and girls face online harassment. Most girls report their first experience between 14 to 16 years old, and some as early as 9 years old. And that is just online stuff. A lot of, in real life, is younger. Every hour, at least 5 women or girls are raped in the North Province in the Republic of Congo. Safely stored evidence, access support, and report if you feel ready using a free app which is called GRIT, and it is a gender rights in technology. If you search it, GRIT, G-R-I-T app, you can see a safety app for when you don't feel safe in and out of your home. You can safely store video and audio recordings of abuse, and it gives you an emergency silence call out to help you, to save you, hopefully save you. So look that up because it's free. We're taught early on not to see you as equals and to consider anything feminine or perceive as such to be weaker or less than. The process to undo this programming is lifelong, so I don't think many of us do. And that is a quote from a man. That was a quote I had that commented on misogyny, and that is what he quoted. Do men even like women, was the question. like as humans, not just abstract concepts or the goal of ownership. I don't think you do. And that is what Howie answered. My cat is trying to knock everything down. So you might hear a bang and a crash, and that'll be my cat, my younger cat. He's still very, a little feral cat. He's a little feral cat, bless him. He was found on the street, so he was living outside for a few weeks as a kitten because the owner just lets their animals get pregnant and don't look after the babies. Don't worry, I've reported them to the RSPCA, and I have no clue, because obviously they tell you follow up. You always get these, quote, women are just bad as men. So then I challenge you to provide at least 3 examples of a man being gang raped by women. Show me one instance of an adult woman trafficking adult men. List all the anti-man laws women have drafted. Find a sorority that regularly rapes men during their parties. That's my cat going mental. Find a sorority that regularly rapes men during their parties. When I'll start seeing men with melted faces from gender-based acid attacks, then I will buy into the women are just as bad rubbish. Show me where women are taking turns, sexually assaulting monitor lizards, fish, coma patients, elderly nursing home residents, 6-month-old babies and corpses. Find me a country where women force men to stay at home, cover up completely and not talk to each other. Name a single country or even a single small culture or community where there's a social problem of women marrying male children. Men should try to list all the countries where the men are violently banned from education and work, to be reduced to objects for women to masturbate with and baby makers. When I hear or a wife drugging the husband to have him and by 100 women, I'll believe women are bad as men. When I see men survivors of genital mutilation, advocacy for their rights and stopping practice invented by women, I will buy into it. Guess what group has been talking about all these things for years and was demonetized, shamed and is threatened for it? Now, on November the 25th, it is International Day of Elimination, Violence Against Women and Girls. This should be every day because of men. When Margaret Keane took her ex-husband to court for claiming her art as his own, the judge told both of them to paint one for her big-eyed portraits right there in the courtroom. Walter refused, saying his shoulder hurt. Margaret finished hers in 53 minutes, so she won. So look at Margaret Keane, and you'll know what art it means. Now, this is a fucking horrendous story that all these stories are horrendous, that I found. It's not hardly anywhere. This was on a page I follow where they're all lefty wokies. Good. Because this has not been taught anywhere. This has not been shown anywhere. No one fucking knows about it at all. And I have not seen anyone else go on about this apart from about 3 pages. So 2 Texas men plotted to invade a Haitian island, kill all the men and enslave women and children. 2 men from Texas have been indicted for plotting to invade an island off of Haiti, murder the men and use the women and children as sex slaves, according to U.S. Attorney J.R. Combs. According to the information presented in court between August 24 and July 25, Gavin Rivers, 21, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20, that's how fucking young they are, they're hardly men, schemed to recruit and lead a mercenary force to the island of Gonave, which is part of the Republic of Haiti, with the purpose of carrying out rape fantasies. Remember, they're 20 and 21 when this happened. Officials say that the guys planned to buy a sailboat, guns, ammo, then recruit unhoused people in Washington, D.C. to serve in their army to invade the island and stage a coup. The Department of Justice said the men intended to murder all the men on the island so they can turn all the women and children into their sex slaves. Both have been charged with conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country and production of child pornography. If convicted of federal conspiracy to commit murder in a foreign country, they can face up to life in federal prison. If convicted of the federal production of child pornographic charges, both could face up to 30 years in federal prison. Have you heard that story? I bet you fucking haven't. Horrendous. They are basically children near being proper adults. And apparently this isn't the first time American residents have used Haiti as an easy way to traffic children and women. The most dangerous people I've ever met generally believe they're good. They rewrite every story, dodge every consequence, carry zero accountability in their minds. They've never hurt anyone, but somehow everyone else is always to blame. That kind of delusion isn't just toxic, it's terrifying. Now, this was from Women's Aid. 1.8 million children are living with domestic abuse. That's more than the population of Leeds and Birmingham combined. So this is Leeds in England and Birmingham in England. So Leeds is the north of England. And Birmingham is the Midlands, the middle of England. And that is horrendous. I wouldn't be shocked if it's more. I should be shocked, but I'm not, because the system's fucking awful. Some men say they'll fight any man who hurts their daughter, but won't fight the system that teaches men to hurt women in the first place. Protecting your daughter means nothing if you won't challenge the culture that harms them, all of us. Patriarchy isn't just a concept, it's a system that decides which women deserves respect and which don't. If you respect women depends on what she wears, how she lives, or who she sleeps with, you're not protecting women, you're policing them. Your daughter isn't magically safe because you think she's one of the good ones. Someone else might not see her that way. Respect isn't conditional. Safety isn't optional. If you want to protect daughters, fight the system, not just men who act on it. Men, we'll call you Mrs. or Miss because your worth is identified by whether you're single, married or widowed. Women, no. We'll call ourselves Ms. because our status is not defined by men, but who we are. So obviously, if anyone is listening, I would like to read out some helplines that might be useful to anyone out there that might need support. So this is the Somerset, which is the southwest of England, Domestic Abuse Services on 0800 694 9999, and it's open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Otherwise, you can go on somersetdomesticabuse.org.uk. It includes a live chat. In emergency, obviously call 999 or press 55 if you cannot speak. I think that's great that we have small systems. It should be a massive system, but this is a little bit of support if anyone needs it in the southwest of England, in the UK, if you don't know what else to do. I would also like to say, good to see your party's co-founder, Jeremy Corbyn, having his views on the illegal invasion and kidnapping in Venezuela sought by MSM. His appearance on Newsnight on Monday and other contributions were sound. Moral reasoning in a vacuum of dangerous right-wing support. If we can move on from the shaky few months up until the conference and succeed in the setting as a truly grassroots democratic party like no other in the UK, we have an exciting and hopeful 2026 ahead. He was in Liverpool in a conference, despite some hiccups. It found really inspirational. Hope we can branch into South Somerset sometime soon. The main reason leftist establishment idiots like Owen Jones disrespects our resistance is because the Palestinian and regional resistance today is Islamic. Owen cannot bring himself to support the resistance, even to threat a large goal of defending Palestinians against a genocidal Jewish state and liberating Palestine, because his core position is anti-Islam. He may not be the over of the WMD or Bring Democracy, which bombs type, but he is liberate, the people from oppression, which to him is religion. Both position ends is the same: Western, Israeli interface, chaos, murder, destruction. Therefore, it should not be surprising that he has spent the last 24 hours pushing Zionist regime change propaganda against Islam. I don't like Tories, and I fucking was angry about Kemi Badenoch when I don't like Rachel Reeves, do not like Labour, but when Rachel Reeves and the budget tried to say they're going to try and save money for children and give more money to children, Kemi got so pissy and misogynistic and boy club. I fucking hate that cunt. I really do. Because she's sexist. She's against classes are a distraction. British boys aren't the problem. The Tory leader says Labour must stop immigrants coming in to the UK from cultures that don't respect women. Such boy club shit that she's completely ignored. So this woman used to be in charge of women's safety, and she's just completely put a blanket over all the dangerous people we have in our own 4 countries of the UK. Completely ignored that and pretend it's someone else's fault but our own. Disgusting. The UK government could ban Elon Musk's X after AI was used to undress, sexualise women and create child sexual abuse images, but the US is threatening sanctions if they ban it. So UK, is it the people and women and children's safety first, or is it going to be, which I think it will be, filling your pockets and ignoring again? Fuck yeah, it will, you fucking Zionist cunt. I want my country back. Back from the right wing, back from the racists, back from Tommy Robinson supporters, back from the dickheads, back from the politicians who prey on ignorance, back from the right wing tabloids, back from anyone spreading hate towards another race or religion. I don't like religion at all. I hate it, but unfortunately, people class themselves as religious, and some of them are alright, but I fucking hate it. But you need to stop using religion as a hate thing, because it's all dumb and it's all fake. If people were taught the truth about economics, working class people would be protesting outside mansions, not hotels, with people seeking asylum. Now this is for all the people out there listening. No means no. Stop means no. Wait means no. Not now means no. I'm not comfortable with this means no. Maybe later means no. I'm not sure means no. I'm tired means no. I've changed my mind means no. I have a partner means no. And no doesn't mean convince me. No means no. The response to highlighting male violence to women and girls is repeatedly met with not all men. I believe it is actually most men. The statistics show this, as does the silence and lack of giving a shit about male violence. In reality, it's probably around 10% being generous, who are truly good men, who stand up for women no matter what. It's 10% who are actively engaged in challenging other men's misogynistic, sexist, chauvinistic, controlling and or predatory behaviour, and who are actively trying to end male violence. Shame on any man that sits on their hands as women are routinely harmed by other men. Misandry is a made-up word. The male loneliness epidemic is an intervention. Women have every fucking right to hate men. The difference is when women hate men, we decenter them, we avoid them, we check out. When men hate women, they create nudes without consent, rape and abuse, and kill them. Now, want to know something else that is sickening but predictable? There are men who claim to respect, and what we do, first reaction, will seek out nudified pictures or create pictures of themselves. The lack of consent is what turns them on. There is where we are. The police do nothing. The government does nothing. Both probably join in anonymously. There are no regulations, no restrictions. This is what men do when they have free reign. It's what they've done for us for centuries. Sexualization of women is only appealing if it's non-consensual. Otherwise, it's slutty. And this from Linda West. Female purity is bullshit. The concept we see for OnlyFans models, despite their business model only existing due to excessive male demand, that comes from the fact that those women are consenting. They're utilising free will, agency, willingness, giving men what they want. That's slutty. It's only really sexy when women don't want it. When they put up a fight, when it's done to them, and when they don't actively participate in it. Anything less than that makes her a whore. Having endured the most heinous abuse imaginable by men of all backgrounds and political leaning, and after a lifetime of enjoying this behaviour in real life, I can convincingly say that the reason this happens is because other men, those who think they are good guys, let it. All men benefit from the actions of bad men. They benefit from the bar being so fucking low that we are grateful just to not be beaten or raped. They benefit from our fear even though they don't join in. That's the reality. We've seen men use prompts asking AI to nudify their sisters. We've seen Telegram rape channels with 70,000 plus users, all men and boys. We've seen accused Tory rapists get the charges dropped. We've seen police officers photograph the body of murdered sisters. We've seen firefighters upskirt mangled women's underwear. We've seen every man queue up to rape a drugged woman. We've seen a rapist elected as president. Though all of this, we've not seen any violent outrage from men to stop it, not once. And also to the reform people, this also makes me laugh, and the Tommy Robinson people. So Isabel Oakeshott, Richard Tice and Ant Middleton are in Dubai. Kirsty Allsop is in Switzerland. Switzerland. Andrew Neil is in France and Tommy Robinson is in Tenerife. Is it time we closed our borders? So obviously the famous quote from George Orwell in the book 1984, the party told us to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. So breaking news, the US will withdraw from 66 organizations, isolating the country from the wider world, the White House announced today. The White House today said the US will withdraw from 31 UN organizers and 35 others. So that is the Carbon Free Energy Compact, that is the Department of Economics and Social, that is the UN Economic Social Council, Education, European Centre of Excellence, the Forum of European National Highway Research Laboratories, Freedom of Online Coalition, Cyber Expertise Forum on Immigration Development, International Law Commission, Resident Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals, Intergovernment Forums for Mining, Intergovernment Panel for Climate Change, the Science Policy, Biodiversity, International Centre of Study of the Prevention on Sexual Violence in Conflict, Betrayal of Cultural Property, International Continent Advisory Committee of Violence Against Children, Peace Building Fund, International Federation of Art Councils, Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, the UN Alliance of Civilization, International Institute of Democracy and Electoral Assistance, UN Entity for Gender Equality Empowerment, International Tropical Timber Organization, Women, Nature Conserve, Climate Change, Human Settlement Program, Partnership for Atlantic Cooperation, UN Institution for Training and Research, UN University, oh my god, this goes on and on and on, obviously. Boundaries of acceptance were being tested day by day, month by month, year by year. The 2-year-long live stream genocide of Palestinians have been a gigantic leap forward of ruling class violence and sent a clear message that even large-scale exterminations of children are doable. They justify the killing of immigrants. They will justify killing the Americans, and they justify killing the mums, children and fathers. They will justify killing you. So obviously I do a lot of petitions, and there's one that's really good of Petition UK. So please sign and share this. Lower the age for invites to regular mammograms to 40 years old and perform annually. Lower the age for when you are first called to 40 and provide funding to carry out mammograms annually instead of every 3 years, because as we know there has been tons of cases of girls and women getting, and even men getting breast cancer at a much earlier age, because we're still very misogynistic, and NHS are very backward still, where they just presume that you get certain things when you're old and not at any age. It boggles my mind. So look up the Petition UK and sign and share and invite other people to the monogram annually instead of every 3 years, lowering the age to 40, which is still not low enough, but it's lower than it is. So it's absolutely grotesque, the levels of wealth hoarding. The richest 500 individuals added a record $2.2 trillion to their wealth in 2025, according to Oxfam. The growth in net worth would have been enough to lift 3.8 billion people out of poverty. Abolish the monarchy, abolish fucking billionaires, abolish racism, sexism, everything against people that oppresses them. So also, once again, another thing I'd like you to look up is nowar.venezuela.com. Tell your senators, vote yes on the War Powers resolution to stop the illegal war on Venezuela. Act now. Visit nowarwithvenezuela.com. Because once again, why is that orange goo allowed to break international law? I do not fucking understand how this crazy work carries on. So police chief faces calls to resign over Maccabi Tel Aviv fan ban. So we had people trying to ban Tel Aviv fans over here because of their violent ways. It wasn't because they were Israeli and were anti-Semites. It's just generally they are so fucking violent over here. We even had cases of Israeli footballers raping girls in Europe. So yeah, I mean, we're fucking awful as well when we go abroad, Brits abroad, especially when there's football. But it was for their safety as well. Because obviously they got a bit worried about the pro-Palestinian people, which we do fucking no horrible shit to people at all. But people were trying to ban them because they thought that the left were going to fucking do something. We weren't going to do fuck all. We just were to protest. Palestine embassy officially opens in London after state recognition by UK. Whoa, good. Love it. Danish PM warns US over Greenland claims, because obviously the orange goo is still fucking going on about Greenland. But at the end of the day, guess what? It's not really the Danes that should have control. It should be the Greenlanders, because they're the indigenous people. But I do hope that everyone fucking stands up with Greenland and supports them and kick that orange goo in the bin. British and French warplanes carried out airstrike on ISIS site in Syria. Bullshit. I'm sorry, but bullshit. I bet there's no such thing as ISIS site in Syria. Sorry, it's going to be a lot of public, normal people getting hurt there. Border Force to now seize phones from small boats for immigrants. Well, that's a violation of human rights anyway. You know, we're so obsessed with attacking everyone else and not having accountability. Like, fucking hell, go to therapy, for fuck's sake. Men will literally start a war with Venezuela instead of going to fucking therapy. We start wars on everything because we broke our own heart of our own feelings instead of going to fucking therapy. It's ridiculous. I have a theory that cycling is as close as the middle class straight white guy can get to understanding being female. People have a reckless disregard for your safety. You have to treat everyone like they might hurt you, and if you do get hurt, people will blame you for existing. And then I thought I'd just do a random little note of Britain's first black police officer, PC Norwell Roberts, on point duty near Charing Cross Station in 1968. He would have faced many challenges throughout his esteemed career, and he was subjugated to racism, prejudice both in and outside of work. So, just proving that, they allow people to come into work and they might have policies and procedures, but no fucker follows them, look, because he was subjected still to racism in and out of work. Is it true that there's an old Irish tradition that women get a second Christmas in January? Yes. So I hope everyone did enjoy and celebrate their January the 6th Women's Christmas. That's Nolag na Maban, and it's really awesome. Old customs that recognise how much physical and emotional labour women do to make the Christmas season special. Traditionally, it would be a day where men and boys on home tasks and cooking, so women could go relax with their friends, eat leftover Christmas treats together. It's also a day where it was used for political organisation for women's rights. I think we need to, on January 6th, all have a good old Women's Day. Put down tools. Let's just have a party, guys. Girls and girls. Men claim to hate gold diggers, but what they actually hate is that they can't afford them. The second men get money, they entertain women who they know they would never get if they were broke. In conclusion, men love gold diggers. Thank you for my TED Talk. Any grooming gang is abhorrent, but remember, the biggest grooming gangs are groups of powerful white men, Epstein, Savile and the BBC. The church. Let's focus on protecting children and not being racist. If I were a man too, would be the loudest advocate for marriage. In fact, I'm constantly impressed by how thoroughly women were convinced that an institution offering men comfort and unpaid labour was somehow their prize. Imagine waking up to a life where your domestic needs are preemptively met. The bed is made, the bath is run, clothes are coordinated, breakfast is waiting, your shoes are where they should be and polished. You exit the house as a fully supported individual. You return at night to a clean home, cooked food, children whose lives have been managed, scheduled, tracked, emotionally needed, and sophisticated. And this is all largely invisible. Unpaid labour done in the background so your life can run smoothly. You get to help sometimes as a gesture and not responsibility. If marriage demanded from men what it has historically demanded from women, it wouldn't be as popular. The mystery is how women were pursued, that a structure built and organised their exhaustion was a gift. The brilliance and cruelty of the system is how this labour is disguised as love. It is generally the most successful welfare systems ever designed, but not just for women. If marriage was as materially generous to women as it has been to men, it wouldn't need more moral pressure, religion, or fear of willingness to sell it. The fact that it does tells you everything. Like clockwork, it's the men wilding in comments. Turning Point USA was founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk and Bill Montgomery. Two of the major policies pushers were a more prominent gun culture and zero COVID restrictions. Bill Montgomery died to COVID virus. Charlie Kirk died of gun violence. How fucking is that? If your boyfriend/husband ever says anything rude or disrespectful to you, tell him to write it down on a piece of paper, get in his car, drive, deliver it to his mother, or simply hand it to his daughter. If he can't say it to his mother or doesn't want any other man to one day say it to his daughter, he shouldn't fucking be saying it. 6 months for the police to conclude that Bob Vylan, which is a rapper, singer, a political one in the UK, didn't break any law. Blanket media coverage, a distraction. The Met, which is the police, say words have real world consequences, yet fail to act against actual war crimes and the IDF criminals in London. Terrifying and unsurprising, Britain acts for Israel. Did you know singer, dancer and activist Josephine Baker was also a spy in World War II for the French Air Force? She found fame and freedom after fleeing racism in America and led a double life informing on the Nazis. To understand how dire this situation with the Filton 21 is, during 1981 Irish hunger strikes, Martin Herson became the 6th of the 10th hunger strikers to die on day 46 of his hunger strike in the face of the escalation of genocides, endocides, systematic oppressions. World governments completely failed to fulfill the bare minimum legal duty to uphold basic human rights. It then falls onto civilians to take on the responsibility and end our complicity. But when we do, we get punished with every increasing repression. The people in power and criminalising care and empathy because it threatens our extremely violent business as usual, where they get away with sacrificing humanity, especially marginalising groups for their own profit and power. The UK has immersed blood on their hand, sowed the colony seeds to what is now a full-blown genocide in Gaza, just being one example. The current continuous systematic financial, military and political support for Israel's brutal war crimes is another. Now they are leaving young people to die in prison without a trial in a hunger strike. These are brave people who stood up and took action for humanity, doing the government's job. Some of them have even been on hunger strike for over 65 days, and the situation is extremely critical. We need to take action, amplify and show our solidarity. Their demands are immediate bail, a fair trial, because remember, these people have not actually been charged or convicted of anything. They were just thrown in jails. End the censorship of Palestine action. Shut Elbit down. Free Palestine. Free Filton 24. Shut Elbit down. So I saw a lot that when this actress passed away, a lot of people, this is what I was saying, like a lot of people forget that when we idolise celebrities, we seem to forget what shit they've done in life. So actress passed away. Bardot has been convicted and fined by French courts on multiple occasions for inciting racial hatred, particularly against French Muslims and immigrants. In one instance, in 1996, she wrote in the El Figaro that France was again invaded by overpopulation of foreigners, especially Muslims. She has openly supported the far-right National Rally, formerly National Front, party in France, including its leaders. Her second husband was a former advisor to Jean-Marie Le Pen, but she did have great hair. That's what you like. That's what you like. You all idolise all these dangerous people that we make famous. And yeah, she passed away, and rest in hell, really, because you were horrible to your children, especially your son, because you wished he was dead. I get it that a lot of women from decades ago feel like they've been forcefully had to have children, and I understand that. Find that there's a way of talking about it. Like, she put it in a fucking book that he was just a creature that was born from her. And she regrets having children and everything. Yeah, but she was nice to animals, apparently. No, bullshit. Fucking no thank you. Goodbye, prick. We must never forget how easily hate speech can turn into hate crime, how ignorance or indifference can lead into intolerance, or how silence in the face of bigotry is complicity. Thought of the day. Although the two are very different, being homeless and being a celebrity do share some similarities. You lose your privacy, you are constantly surveillanced by polite society, and are probably going to get slated by the media who think you need to get a job. I've seen those random acts of kindness videos of TikTokers walking up to homeless people and giving them money, and it seems really sweet at first, but then they start to imagine being at the lowest point in my life, already dealing with shame and uncertainty, then somebody sticks a camera or a ring light in your face without permission to publish their good deed and their face, using them as fodder to wholesome bait audiences into a dopamine rush. And then there's an unspoken imbalance here, because if I need the money, I won't tell them to get the camera out of your face. The TikTokers behind these feel-good videos act as paparazzi, and just realised paparazzi sounds like a type of pizza, but let's back up the point. Defranchised. And underneath everything, homelessness is a structural issue that stems from a lack of power. These people need power, not surface level sympathy, especially not from a streamer with a survivor complex. A better system of care would be to show them a matter rather than telling them you feel sorry for them. We show care through building infrastructure, creating more social affordable housing, take care of some of the delicious green money Ireland gets in the billions from Apple to pump more money into a wraparound service that deal with mental health and addiction issues, which is always underfunded. Please continue to be kind and help those who need it. Just leave the phone camera in your pocket. Donald Trump says US has carried out deadly strikes against the Islamic group in Nigeria. No, they haven't. They've just attacked another fucking country for power. This isn't a gender war, it's a war on women. Brock Turner, who served 3 months for sexually assaulting an unconscious woman because the court said a longer sentence would damage his future. But he also dragged a woman into his car and no one did anything. He also, these girls needed surgery. They needed surgery because he damaged one of them really fucking badly. Just look at Brock Turner and you'll fucking know what I mean. Same as the guy Jesse, horrendous boys. And then you've got Cynthia Brown, who served 51 years, who was sentenced to 51 years in prison for killing the man who trafficked and abused her, and she gets 51 years. But because it's once again a man or a boy, they don't hardly serve anything because of men privilege. Oh, it will damage his future. But you don't give a shit that she's going to go for 51 years for killing someone that trafficked her and probably trafficked many other girls and abused her and probably a few other. Hating me is so valid. I'm probably held you accountable for your vile behaviour, which discredits your whole narrative, and you lot don't like it. And I love it. Because I don't give a shit now I'm older. I don't give a shit. You might not need it, but someone else will. So you've got the Samaritans, which is 116123. Alcoholics Anonymous, which is 0800 9177 650. You've got Narcotics Anonymous, which is 0300 999 1212. You've got Our Anonymous, which is 0800 008681. You've got Age UK, which is 0800 678 1602. You've got Women's Domestic Abuse, which is 0808 2000 247. You've got Men's Domestic Abuse, which is 0808 8010327. You've got the LGBTQ plus domestic abuse, which is 0300 999 5428. You've got Shelter, which is 0808 800 4444. You've got the National Debt Line, which is 0808 808 4000. You've got Bereavement, 0800 435 455. You've got Childline, which is 0800 1111. You've got the National Grid, which is 0800 111 999. You've got United Utilities, which is 0345 672 2888. You've got the NHS, which is 111. You've got the police, which is 999 or 112 or 101. And that would be useful in the UK and Ireland. Otherwise, just look online. Look online if you've ever thought of someone that needs help, and I've just said something that you haven't thought of to ever look up for someone to get support, then look up names like this, or please ring the numbers or look up their websites as well, if you don't feel confident enough to physically talk to someone. Narcissists think when you tell people what they did to you, they are talking shit about them. No, we are describing what they did to you. They made themselves look shit. If right-wingers were actually patriotic, they would post this kind of stuff like other nations and exhibit general patriotism. They would celebrate our incredible, vibrant culture, but they don't. Instead, they go to Tesco's and film themselves crying about Christmas tree. This Christmas was real. There were Scrooges or corporations that raked in record profits this year and paid their CEOs millions of dollars, but still deny workers a living wage. So also I've got more numbers for contacting in a mental health crisis. So you've got Samaritans, it's 24 hours. You've got 116 123, and that is for emotional support to anyone in distress, struggling to cope or at risk of suicide. You've got a thing called Shout in capital letters, SHOUT, 24 hours. You text it. So you text 85258. And it's a free text service for anyone in crisis. If you're over 18, text the word SHOUT. Under 18, text YM in capital letters. You've got Mindline, which is 24 hours. Local, like meaning England. You've got 01823 276 892, or you've got a free phone which is 0800 136 1692, and that is for anyone of any age in England or Somerset, southwest England, experiencing mental health distress or wanting emotional support. If anything else, please immediately, if you especially feel in danger or the person you are trying to find help for is in danger, please call 999. I know police have got a fucking shit rap on it, but they will come to things like this. They will. I'm hoping they will, but otherwise please go for the other stuff. You've got the Refuge charity. So this is a national domestic abuse helpline. It's open 24 hours and you are not alone. So please call 0808 2000 247. Otherwise, go on www.nationaldahelpline.org.uk. Okay, and just please get the help you need. You are needed. If you feel like you have nothing, there is always someone there that wants you, needs you, and you need to help yourself. If you know anyone in danger, please help them, because they might not know they're in danger, or they just feel like they can't get out of it. So please help anyone that yourself or others are in harm. So finally, David Walliams of Little Britain is finally getting recognised for his dirty, disgusting ways. So David Walliams' dark side and the warning that allegations were the tip of the iceberg. So he was sacked from his publication because he was a child's author now, even though he's been done for racism, sexism, assault, everything. And it's only until he assaulted a woman that people gave a shit all of a sudden, even though all those allegations would be going on for 20 plus years. Russell Brand has been charged again with new offences of rape and sexual assault. That's why he's fucking off to America all the time and being a fake Christian, because easy money in it, and he gets to hide because he's trying to make new connections and need to save himself. There's an email by Andrew from Balmoral asking Ghislaine Maxwell for inappropriate friends. Epstein file shows. So also, there's a fucking horrendous man that, and we found out he was a ex-Tory councillor, MP, whatever, he's the English version of Pellicot's case. He's a husband in court charged with drugging and raping his ex-wife. So he did the same. He drugged his wife, and it turns out that a few tens of men come along to rape her. So at the moment, that's an ongoing trial of this since this recording. And I hope he ends up dead. I do. I just hope all these people just end up vanished off this earth. No need for them. What life are you ruining? You're ruining absolutely no one's life apart from the woman that's been a victim here. Israel has claimed responsibility for bombing a wedding in Gaza City yesterday that killed 7 people from 2 families, including a 4-month-old baby. Israel offered no explanation, but acknowledged uninvolved civilians were killed. Where's the Bondi Beach level media coverage? Where's the outrage? Funny that, isn't it? Do you know about Ahed al-Biyok? She was a 3-year-old. She crossed the fake lines drawn by Israel in Gaza and she was shot dead. They claimed they eliminated a terrorist, a 3-year-old little girl, just playing outside. So obviously, more misogynistic shit. I have boyfriend, doesn't stop them. I'm married, doesn't stop them. But I love money and expensive gift. That's always the one that works. Very true. So this is a case of Ellie Wilson, a Scottish woman that I follow on TikTok, and she's been obviously showing that there's a case against an abuser, and I thought I'd just upload you on what's going on with this person. So Andrew McFarlane again appeared in court without legal representation. He wants to represent himself so he can cross-examine Ellie. A Highland GP accused of stalking rape victim wants chance to question her. McFarlane today said he would challenge the Crown's application that his alleged victim was classed as vulnerable. A Highland GP who was charged with stalking the woman his son raped wants the chance to quiz her in court. It emerged. Dr. Andrew McFarlane, 61, faces claims he caused Ellie Wilson fear and alarm by posting a series of offensive, derogatory and abusive comments on social media platforms between October 23 and October 25. The years, 2023, 2025. Fucking 2 years this poor woman's going through. And more, obviously, with the rape. McFarlane's son, Daniel, was jailed for 5 years in 2022 for raping Miss Wilson, who has waived her rights to anonymity, and has since become a campaigner for survivors of sexual violence. Please follow Ellie Wilson. She is campaigning so much. She's had so much shit, online and offline, not including this fucking freak, because we've got a lot of anti-abortion American scumbags in Glasgow at the moment, or have been for the last few years. And unfortunately, she has also been the rebuttal of this again. So go fucking support Ellie Wilson. I follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Go follow her. Go have a look. See what she advocates, what she campaigns for. You will see how much work these women are doing. Even though they are victims, survivors, they've gone through so much shit. Once again, women are having to save themselves because no fucker's doing nothing. So good luck with Ellie, because this GP, who should be fucking struck off wholeheartedly, never again. He's fucking disgusting. So as well, he's also, the doctor has been accused for allegedly including posting comments on other users' accounts about her. In further allegations to this, that he publicly posted a private correspondence that he had access to between Miss Wilson and others online and on various social media platforms, as well as repeatedly posting that he was in possession of a quantity of explicit videos and photographs of her. The charge goes on to allege that Mr. McFarlane publicly posted a video of Miss Wilson pole dancing and made a derogatory remark about it. On one occasion, the charge claims he posted a countdown timer on social media, placing Miss Wilson in a state of fear or of alarm as his intended course of action. He is also accused of posting an explicit photograph which had been edited so to not appear indecent of Miss Wilson online, with an image having not previously been publicly made available. That is fucking weird and sick and gross, and he should be in fucking prison. But unfortunately, you have to wait till the end of January for poor Ellie to go through this shit still. Ellie Wilson, I support you, girl. Come on, let's fucking take these blokes down. What the fuck, you know? When people get all knicker twisted when they say misogyny needs to be taught in school, and control needs to be taught in schools, and men and boys get pissy about it. What are you doing about the rape gangs? It starts from a boy or a guy not being challenged on being a sexist prick, and it elevates all the way up to abuse, murder, anything horrendous, because no one ever gets accountability from it. A 13-year-old girl at a Louisiana middle school got into a fight with her classmates who were sharing AI-generated nude images of her. The girl ended up getting expelled. The school board later reversed course, letting her return on probation. That's right, you heard. A 13-year-old girl who had that done to her, she got expelled, but she was allowed to come back on probation. Not the people that were showing these images getting expelled. Only she got in trouble. What the fuck? A man accusing... So now this is the guy again, the Tory scumbag. Man accused of drugging and repeatedly raping his ex-wife, charged with 56 sexual offences. And that is not including the other blokes that come around and did it. J.D. Vance, in the USA, United States of America, you don't have to apologise for being white anymore. You're not going to be able to pay for healthcare, groceries and housing with white supremacy propaganda. They're relying on division and hate because they have nothing else to fucking offer. Now it all makes sense. Nicki Minaj's brother was convicted of criminal sexual act involving an 11-year-old family member. Yes, I have spoken about this a few times now, that she has constantly stood up for family members that do bad things and gives them jobs and stuff. And she turned up at an Erica Kirk US Turning Point thing, and she has gone that completely away because she knows that if she's connected with them, he'll get pardoned. Awfully convenient that Nicki Minaj found her conservative voice right as she was losing a $20 million mansion, and her husband needs a pardon, just like Russell Brand becoming an anti-woke crusader right after getting accused of sexual assault. It's a grift as old as time. They want you to be distracted by the wrong 1% whilst the billionaire upper class pays a fortune to traffic and rape your kids, including trans kids. MAGA men would rather have their jaw broken in 2 places and wired shut than go to therapy. Jake Paul reference, by the way, to get that. I don't want to hear Andrew Tate call himself an alpha male ever again. Andrew Tate, when his opponent isn't a woman. Alpha male Andrew Tate lost to an amateur boxer he hand-picked. The guy who put on his pink gloves and knocked him out cold. That's what happens when your opponent is not a woman. Andrew Tate got humbled by a guy wearing Hello Kitty pink gloves. Turns out he's not the feared opponent in any realm, as he's previously claimed. Seeking Jake Paul and Andrew Tate getting their asses kicked on the same weekend is a happy Christmas New Year gift to society that we all desperately needed. And I love it that people are still fucking showing it. I love it's the thing that hasn't been forgotten. Psychologists say couples who flirt, tease and talk playfully activate the dopamine and bonding chemicals in your brain. Canterbury Women's Movement Group before Christmas, 3 women from the team were assaulted by fascist Nazi people. Also tried ramming some of them. So if you did get injured or witnessed a crime, please report this to Kent in the UK, England, please. They had drones on them the whole time, and they will be checking footage. They also wearing a body cam, so they will check. If you need some emotional support, if you went through there, you were there, and some aftercare and someone to debrief to, please reach out to the Canterbury Women's Movement. And well done, Margate, for standing up for fascism, from getting rid of fascism, speaking up for women's rights. Amazing. Turning Point USA has recreated the tent with the actual tent where Charlie Kirk was assassinated as part of its American Fest conference. Weird, isn't it? Charlie Kirk's widow endorses Vance for 28. Of course she fucking does. Attendees are now posting for photos and selfies inside the tent he was actually executed. Huge blunder. Nicki Minaj just referenced J.D. Vance as an assassin while speaking to Erica Kirk. Watch her completely squirm when she realises what she said. An absolutely massive fuck up caught live. Women unite to stop a man groping and taking unsolicited photos on a Japanese train. It was great. They were all piling fucking on him. No man got involved. Only when they restrained him, all of a sudden, 1-2 men ran down some stairs to look like they're involved. Stupid. So, a paedophile war criminal just kidnapped a head of state and Keir Starmer won't condemn it. No, he honestly doesn't believe that America has broken international law again. Stop being like Tony Blair in the 90s and George Bush, where you're just his fucking shadow, his little puppy. He won't like you, Starmer. He doesn't like you. You won't be connected after you finish being the Labour bloke. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care. He'll be dead. So fuck terrorist ICE, fuck misogynist ICE, fuck racism ICE, fuck ICE. We demand ICE off our street in our corners of the world, because I do still believe that we will have it in the UK and Ireland. Number of people killed by ICE in the last year, 33. Number of people killed by Palestine Action in the last year, 0. Guess which one the UK government has declared to be a terrorist organisation? Oh dear. A review has found that 131 police officers and staff in the Metropolitan Police committed crimes of misconduct after they were not properly vetted. They include 2 serial rapists. David Craddock is one of the UK's worst sex offenders, and Cliff Mitchell was allowed to join the force in 2020 after a vetting panel overturned a decision to reject him because he had previously been accused of raping a child. Health insurance for a family of 4 in the US averages around $1,900 to over $2,000 per month, but costs vary dramatically, with employer plans average minus $2,100, employees pay $530, and the ACA marketplace plans often $1,400, $1,800 plus, with subsidies significantly lowering costs for eligible families depending on age, location, and plane choice. Ways Nigel Farage will make you worse off. He wants to scrap the NHS and make you pay by moving it to an insurance-based system of healthcare. Reform voted against making school uniforms cheaper and free breakfasts for the primary school children. He voted against the Employment Rights Bill, which will end fire and rehire and extend parental rights. He wants to scrap clean energy projects, which would mean more resilience on foreign energy and mean more higher energy bills. He is against Labour's UK-EU deal, which will bring down food prices and make it easier for Brits to travel. Remember when lawmaker Melissa Hortman, her husband and her dog were shot and killed by a man in a mask pretending to be a law enforcement? That happened in Minnesota just a few months ago. People are scared when unidentified masked men with guns approach them. Renee Nicole Good had every reason to want to flee, but she didn't flee. She just returned. Renee Good's murder was not an isolated act. According to The Guardian, 32 people died in immigration and customs enforcement custody in 2025, making it agency deadly year in more than 2 decades. Trump's One Big Beautiful Act allocation more than $170 billion over 4 years for ICE, with the aim of deporting over 1 million immigrants each year. This is disgusting. Racist terrorist against the whole vulnerable section of the US society. This is highly militarized force that was acting as an army of occupation of the major US cities with vast resources at its disposal. In fact, Jonathan Ross, the person who murdered Renee, served in Iraq and comes from a military background. The same shock and awe approach saw the same kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro, and Celia Flores is being employed with some lethal force. An estimated 100 people were killed in this attack, coming after months of attacks on ships coming from Venezuela. This is the real face of capitalism today, a deeply repressive and racist system. Seeing it up front can be shocking and disorientating, but we can fight back and ultimately end it raw. Did you know that the company has made money out of serious rape? So a company that has made apparently anti-rape clothing, where it's more difficult to pull off from someone and cut the clothes now. What do you think will happen? Because shit like this exists. They will use it as an excuse again that it's women and children's fault that this happened to them because they didn't fucking buy capitalistic shit that you do not need. It's nothing to do with things you're wearing. We are taught it's the things you're wearing, all the way you look, all the way you act, and it's not. It's the way the rapists act, which is usually control and pressure. A lot of time, rape does not happen when you're out and about on the street, where gangs or some shit that you all make up in your heads and incorrectly educate about. It's usually people you know doing it, other people. How is it going to save women and children, even men and boys, from rape? It's not, once again, we have to fit the fucking bill to save ourselves instead of people having accountability and taking it seriously. It's fucking disgusting. 97% of rapists will not spend a day in jail. Women, you've lived your life, you've got your experience. The men in the room, I want to make clear, this isn't an attack. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just trying to tell you my experience. There is monsters among us, and they look like us. Great quote from Daniel Sloss here. If you don't listen to the female identities, then listen to a man, which usually shows that the views that they get compared to us. Go search his video on this and listen, learn with empathy, and grow and gain knowledge. Break the systems and ideals you've been brought up from. Get into the real world, as one day it will affect you personally, and it only matters to a lot of people when this happens. So let's stop that and learn and bring positive change and accountability around you and at them, woman or man. The only race we are part of in this world is human, and we're unfortunately pushed our ways to the top of the food chain. Let's help every single living thing on this whirly-twirly rock in the darkness. No one is better than others. They need guidance. get out of the blindfold of corruption. Also, one more thing I would like to point out, that the weird thing you do on the internet is you take a serious thing, you twist it into a weirdo thing. So then the thing where you are keep saying there's pronouns, okay? What's wrong with you, okay? The fact that you pretend that people are allowed children to go to school and pretend they're cats, like proper cats, not just play a massive play cats like kids do and pretend to be animals. You've always going on about, oh, well, we've got a litter box in our school. Now we don't know where they come from. But it comes from a serious situation. The whole pronouns cat thing is bullshit, okay? Don't fucking believe in that horseshit lie, okay? The reason why you've got litter in your classroom is actually from a very serious situation. It's from the USA. As we know, the USA cares more about guns than people, and you rather spend tons and tons of money on making your schools more like prisons just so you can have a gun. And so that means that little schools like primary schools and junior schools, so you call it like kindergarten and elementary school, maybe middle school, when you have a lockdown, you actually have an emergency toilet. Now, this was shown by someone I follow, and she is under the name of Slightly High Historian on TikTok. I follow her, and she shared a picture of it, and it looks like a pot where it's got warning tape on it, like the red and yellow black tape, and red on it. And you piss in it, so it's like Victorian old saying, pot to piss in and all that. And the substance inside is like a litter substance, because you need to absorb your wee and your shit. And because they're little, and kids, obviously, lockdown can go on for hours, maybe a whole day. And so they've got this emergency pack kit, where it's like torches or flashlights, emergency food packets and stuff like that, and including this, and then wipes and everything. And then you've got, obviously, this emergency toilet. So that's where it comes from. I agree with Slightly High Victorian historian, where I think that there's where the rumours come from. So you've made a serious situation turn into a dopey fake situation. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh yeah, and also I'd like to point out that if you've got time, look up Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard. Them two fucking numbskulls. That we still make famous for some fucking reason, even though that is not a celebrity. It's always completely lived off his wife. And look at the interview with Cher. They have on their parent podcasty thing, and that is what, ladies and gentlemen, you call a man-centered woman. She knows constantly that her husband is a prick, a misogynistic prick, and yet she follows him like a shadow and will not take negativity about him very seriously. She always has to stand up for him, and it's embarrassing. So go watch those clowns, I think, on other creators you follow, because don't give these people money. Give the smaller creators money. They deserve it. Not all these already rich trying to show the trad wife life is great, because she's not a trad wife, because she earns all the fucking money and he spends it on fucking cars and shit. But he thinks he's toxic bollocks because she's fucking put up on such a high pedestal for the weird freak. Also, I was following another content creator that I've never seen before, but because the algorithm works the way it does, he's a therapist for dementia patients, and he was saying that he thinks Donald Trump is probably going to get kicked out for being president within the year. He just thinks he looks like he's got liver failure and heart disease. I mean, everyone fucking can see that he's not a well man. And he was given a note at this meeting that they had, and he said it out loud, and the man next to him was like, oh shit, and it was telling him to piss off. It was so funny. And he just randomly got up and he was like, how does this door work? What? And yeah, he's definitely got something going on that's a condition. And yeah, I think that's why he's doing all this mental shit now, so his kids can have all the money and crap. And also, he's just an excuse. He's not in control of the country. He's the puppet. He's not the puppeteer. That's why they just let him say what the fuck he wants, because he's not the puppeteer. He's the puppet. So all the hate goes to Trump, but it's actually all the fuckers around him and behind him that are doing everything. And I fucking hate him anyway, so I can't wait for them all to die. Anyway, bye.